Hey guys, what's going on? Banana156 here with another video. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. Leave a dislike if you feel like it. I do read all comments, so make sure to leave one. But yeah, so in this video I'm going to be talking about Candace Owens, and first I'm going to go over why she's a grifter, which won't be that long, and then I'll talk about why she's a Nazi. Or why I don't think she believes that she's a Nazi, because I think she's a grifter, but why she uses up Nazi arguments, and I'm going to go over those Nazi arguments. But first off, I think she's a grifter. And now the main reason I think this is because if you know her current positions, you know that she doesn't believe in systemic racism. You know that she doesn't believe in that kind of racism. And earlier in her life, she won a lawsuit for discrimination. For I forgot exactly what it was, but she won a lawsuit for discrimination for thousands of dollars. So I found the lawsuit, and the lawsuit claimed that she was racially harassed, but recently she has claimed that she has never had any race issues growing up. And now there are plenty of other examples of her being a grifter, like recently she made an argument of why you shouldn't take the COVID-19 vaccine, and her basic argument was, this was the tweet that she made: "As an employer, I can assure you that no employee at my company will ever be pressured to put any substance in their body as a condition of their employment. Medical freedom is a corporate policy," which is a pro-choice argument. And then she says, I've always been pro-medical choice and anti-murder of infants. Not sure why this seems to have startled the left, who wish to conflate the two ideologies. Which, no, if you're pro-medical choice, you are pro-choice. That's just not how it works. But there's constant other examples of this, and she never makes consistent arguments. Her arguments are always, well, they're just conservative arguments, so they're bad, but they're never consistent, and she constantly lies about her past, or she lied in that one instance. And so I think she's a grifter. I believe that she has no real position. She's just doing this for money. That's what I believe. And I believe there's a decent amount of evidence to substantiate that claim. And now I want to talk about, first of all, why she promotes Nazism, and I'm going to go over her Nazi arguments. So, now, for a long portion of time, a lot of conservatives have made the argument that, cultural Marxists are taking over the government, or X, or the Democratic Party is taking over the government, or if you're QAnon, the Democratic Satanists are taking over the government and raping all the children in the world. There's always been this conspiracy, which is like half of the JQ thing. It's like half of it. It's like there's a conspiracy to take over the government by someone. And the way that this is slightly different than JQ, it's the same conspiracy, or like SJWs coming, as Sargon of Akkad would say. The reason it's different is because with the Nazi version, it had to be the Jews every time. With this, they can make it whatever they want. They can make, like Sargon of Akkad says, the angry SJWs are taking over the government. QAnon says Satanist Democrats are. Normal conservatives say that the Democratic National Convention and all the democratic institutions. There's always like a different thing you can put in there, or cultural Marxists if you're Jordan Peterson, or the woke if you're any conservative who is brain dead. But see, there's always that conspiracy that there's someone coming in to take over the government, and it's never reached the second puzzle piece. Candace Owens fulfills the second puzzle piece, which is actually kind of scary to see that this argument is being made. So, in a tweet she tweeted out June this year, around Juneteenth, she said, "To politicians all across the world, Black Americans are considered the dumbest ethnic group with the lowest emotional IQ. In other words, the easiest political pawns to destabilize America from inside out." That's the next puzzle piece to the JQ argument. The argument basically is the cultural Marxists, or cultural Bolsheviks, or Jews, are using massive hordes of black and brown people to vote for them and destabilize the country from within, and they're using massive hordes as like a muzzle to destroy the country and get power. This is the same argument that the Nazis made, and basically every other fascist regime besides like the Soviet Union. This is actually pretty scary because this is just straight up, this is like nearly the full JQing argument at this point, and you know, it's kind of scary. But, and not only that, she is also black, if you didn't know, and she's not saying that she says she believes this, but it is implying it, and it is making people believe it. It is like pushing people to the direction of fascism. It's like the argument I made in the Jordan Peterson video. Jordan Peterson may not believe in fascism, he may have denounced it several times, but his ideas and what he pushes leads people to fascism. And this is basically the whole JQing argument. I might make a whole video on the JQing not the whole JQing argument, just JQing. But yeah, the whole gist of JQing is Jews or National Bolsheviks, SJWs, cultural Marxists, the Democratic Party, democratic institutions, or whatever conservatives want to put there, are infiltrating the government. They are using their massive amounts of power and money to mess with the government and take power and destabilize the country. Now, they can't do this themselves because they don't have enough they don't have enough people. So instead of that, they use massive hordes of black and brown people, or like Candace Owens said, black Americans, who are considered the dumbest ethnic group with the lowest emotional IQ, to destabilize the country from the inside out. Or a modern, or like a pretty decently modern, or like a pretty decently common modern renovation of this is that the Democrats are making all these immigrants come in from the southern border so that they will vote for them and perpetuate their power and allow them to come in. And that's how the black and brown horde is destroying the country, and how they're coming into destabilizing it. That's the basic argument here. And if this is more of a Nazi argument than Michael Knowles did, and I called Michael Knowles a major Nazi because I believe that he is. But yeah, so this is the most Nazi argument that you can get, and the worst part is that she's a grifter. She doesn't even believe in what she says. Like, I can go over, like, moving away from the Nazi arguments. What if we go into more things about her being a grifter? So here are some tweets by her. Naomi Osaka made the right decision. Mental illness is serious, and it is always an act of courage to step away from, deal with personal issues. Emphasis on the word personal is becoming too fashionable for one person's experience to transform into a demand for everyone else's. She's starting to get so annoying. Just to quit tennis and become a full-time activist. You make millions and now are complaining again because you think you're a special snowflake and shouldn't have to do press conferences because they are a form of mental abuse. Those are two different tweets. One is praising Naomi Osaka for taking a step down because of her mental illness. The next is calling her annoying and complaining about her because she's a full-time activist now. This is just the most example of being just a terrible grifter, and she's just so trash. Like, you praise someone for taking a step down to deal with their mental illness, and then you complain about someone being an activist and promoting other people to do the same thing. Because mental illness is a real struggle, and it is a real struggle for many people, and many people need time off and need to just take a break because of mental illness or because of mental health. It's a real thing, and people do need to take a ton of measures to combat it, or not combat it, but to keep their mental health good and keep their mental illness in check. So Candace Owens praises her, but then when Naomi Osaka becomes a full-time activist, she tears her down. Like, Naomi Osaka is doing great work. She's promoting mental health awareness, which is really good, because in America there isn't very much of it, and a lot of mental illnesses go unnoticed and mental health problems go unnoticed. I could make a whole video on mental health, but not right now. But Naomi Osaka is doing a great job promoting awareness and making people think about it more. And then Candace Owens originally praising her, and then complains about her because she's proposing people that they may not work, they may take a break, and that's not what they want. They want you to be a pawn in the machine to keep driving profits forward. She doesn't care about you, and she never did. And if you want to hear the last tweet in the segment, I just thought those two are the most important. The last tweet is: change doesn't make people uncomfortable. Annoying, overprivileged multimillionaires who don't even touch their own door handles, crying about how their lives are hard, that makes people uncomfortable. Now you have become unsufferable. Just quit the sport. I will go over how terrible that is. First of all, change does make people uncomfortable. That's the whole reason fascism comes about: fear of difference and playing on social struggles because of change. That's the whole reason that fascism comes about. And second of all, rich people have mental health struggles all the time. Just because you have money doesn't mean that you can't have bad mental health or a mental illness. Mental illness doesn't care who you are. It will come and get you if it chooses to. And people do need help. And it is good to be an activist if you have a platform. Like Naomi Osaka has a platform. So she's using her platform for good. And Candace Owens is being trash. So yeah, Candace Owens is a grifter and makes Nazi arguments, so I consider her a Nazi. So yeah. Thank you all for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. I do read all comments, so make sure to leave one. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys